back to reading some more comments, so let's see what you have to say. How to make dishwasher detergent. What's the ratio? I forget it, we did that so long ago. What's the ratio? Can look it up. Watch the video, I think I say in the video. I didn't say in the video? Oh, I can't click on these are screenshots. All right, we're gonna move on and then I'll get back to you on what's the ratios. How to fix water damaged phone. This is a classic problem solved video. Peel, is that you? I was just watching some Key and Peele skits. Unfortunately, no. We get mixed up for each other, but he got the Hollywood career, I got the TikTok video career, but we're both doing great. How to make Philly cheesesteak. Can you add it over rice or potatoes? So I did this in the video. I think there's a longer version of the video. I don't think it made it into our shorter form video, but yes, that Philly cheesesteak recipe, you can put it over a potato, you can put it over rice. I actually did some alternatives. And then I think I offered some alternatives to like mix it up. It's basically fajitas kinda, you know, just change up the spices and you can really make that meal whatever you want to. Next comment, How to check if your eggs are fresh. Are you Tezonde? Who's Tezonde?
Chocolate Rain.
Oh, Tezonde is Chocolate Rain's name? No, that's not me. And no, it's not who I am. 5 hacks for a messy home. We've kind of embraced the term hacks early on. This is kind of a little behind the scenes philosophy around problem solved. Early on, we were like, these are not hacks. I know it comes from the hack ecosphere. Some of these things feel like hacks, but we wanted them to be helpful, useful tips, not just like weird, wacky ways to do things that nobody's gonna do. But I think recently, you know, the thought around, or you know, the thought process around hacks has changed. So we've really rebranded hacks from being actual hacks to being useful, helpful tips. Aren't you afraid of the ivy on the backsplash area? Okay, yes, we're gonna comment on this. So we were just playing around with backgrounds. The fake backdrop, the fake greenery back there was just for color and texture for a video we were shooting. It was not permanent. We took it away. I would not suggest that anybody put something near a stove, near a heat source that can get dirty and stuff like that. You know, your mileage may vary. I've actually been to homes, like home styling and stuff, where people have cutting boards back there or anything. I think my philosophy, what I mentioned, is treat your backsplash like, you know, that rule they have about cribs, where you don't want something falling or like something to worry about over a crib. That's how I kind of view the stove. Just don't dangle anything or put anything over your stove that is harmful. So that's all I have to say about that. Yes, I know, we put it up there. It just was for a segment we were doing, just for some color and texture, but we have moved on. It is not gonna catch fire. And yes, don't think you can put stuff back there. Sometimes I think this is the screen grabs always, so I do screen captures when I do these, and sometimes I think it's the actual program, so then I click on it to like get somewhere and I realize it's not my phone. Plus, this is not the current time either. Is this Key and Peele? What? We've gone through lulls. I feel like this whole Key and Peele thing, are you Jordan Peele? In the beginning, tons of comments, and then kind of dipped down. Nobody said anything, and there'd be like 1 or 2 comments. But I feel like lately, Jordan Peele must be on the rise because we're getting a lot of Peele comments. How to clean shoes with toothpaste. Yeah, oh, I actually did this one. This is fun. This was, oh God, is this me being like a name dropper or something? I did this trick with Mario Lopez. This is ages ago, years ago, but you know, I just wanted to, you know, say something. I don't know, I'm not that person. Cut that, don't use it. It feels awkward now that I said it out loud on camera. Anyways, how about white shoes? Yes. Use the toothpaste on white shoes. I like it on the rubber sole, so you use a white toothpaste, that's the first key. White baking soda, I use the hydrogen peroxide and baking soda toothpaste. It's basically my favorite cleaners, all in the tube. And use your toothbrush, you can clean the white part of your shoes. I'd avoid leather really with it, but it's really for that rubbery part of your shoe. On Chuck Taylor's, you know, the front toe part that's capped in like the rubber? It's perfect for that. And can you use any kind of toothpaste? So exactly like I was mentioning, you want to use a white, and I prefer a baking soda and hydrogen peroxide toothpaste for cleaning. You can clean a ton of stuff with that because it has the active ingredients that you're looking for to clean white surfaces. You can use it on grout, on stubborn stains. You can use it all over. Anything you're trying to scrub clean, get that toothbrush, use the correct type of toothpaste. 30 car hacks to save you money. This is a new video. We love doing the compilations, like gathering all of our similar topics or, something within a theme and putting them together. So these videos are a lot of fun to watch back all of the different, topics that we've covered in a particular category. Can you do a video on AirTags, keeping your car safe, apps to use on iPhone and Android phones? My buddy, my pal, Cody, does a lot of tech tips. Check out Cody Problem Solved. It's like an offshoot of my Problem Solved videos. She does a ton of tech tips. You can find them on USA Today. I would love to cover some more AirTag tips. When AirTags came out, I did a bunch of AirTag tips, but I haven't followed up with that in a long time. What I love about the AirTags is they're kind of silent technology. I got my AirTags, I've put them in my luggage and put them on my keys and stuff, and I kind of forgot about it until the airline, they had to gate check my luggage. And I was like, thank goodness I have that AirTag in there, because I wanted to make sure it landed and arrived on time. And sure enough, when I arrived, the little AirTag got registered after a little bit. I was worried because it did register where I was flying from for a while, and then it just updated, and then there it was on the carousel. So it is good peace of mind to at least keep it in your luggage. I keep one on my keys, I keep one in my backpack, so any loose items that you may forget something, it's nice silent technology. But yeah, I could do some more. This is what I love. Of the whole Apple ecosystem, AirTags are so affordable. And I got that 4-pack and I couldn't even use them all. So I gave one to my family. It makes such a good gift too. Buy the 4-pack, keep 2 for yourself, and gift 2 of them, they'll never know. Jordan Peele, again, gosh. It's me, hi, I'm the Jordan Peele, it's me. No, not really. Is it gonna be like an Into the Spider-Verse situation if I ever meet him, if our paths ever cross? I don't know if we're gonna like destroy realities. I don't think we can physically be in the same. I black out sometimes, so I think that's when I transform into Jordan Peele. So maybe we're the same person, I have no clue. Why doesn't this remind me of the movie Alien? Oh yes, that was an intentional. It was a drain snake, but it was the one that with the grabber, so you can grab things you've dropped down a drain. That's why it's super useful to have a regular auger, like one that like gets hair and unclogs, but then the other tool is just a long extension arm with like a little grabber on the end, so you can pull things out that you may have dropped in there. Professionals, like professional plumbers, and you can even buy these at Home Depot. They have ones with cameras on it that you can use at home. So it's a little gun with a little screen and a camera and a grabber. Surgeons use that technology where they go in, in a small incision and fish around inside of you. This is what you can do in the drain with the camera, but I don't want to see what's in the drain, so that's a little gross. Okay, endoscope. Yeah, that's what endoscopy, like an endoscope. It's the same thing, but you can use it for home applications, like looking in walls, you can look in drains. It's kind of handy, especially if you're a DIY home DIYer. Perfect tool. How to fix water damage of phone. What if it's waterproof? Most phones on the market, most people's phones are gonna have some rating of waterproof. But what people don't realize is if you drop your phone, just wear and tear with the phone can make tiny microscopic, gaps can compromise that rating. So your phone, after several years or after a long term of use, doesn't necessarily have that same high rating of waterproofness. Any phone is still prone to damage, and it's the amount of time it's in water. So maybe you dropped it in a pool and it takes you time to get it, or you drop it in the river or the lake, or you don't notice it's in water. The prolonged amount of time in the depth can have an effect too. So always nice to have an option of how to dry out your phone. Use those silica gel packets, or try to get it rinsed off, take it to a repair place if it's, kind of beyond repair. Get insurance on your devices if you're accident prone like me. Whatever works for you. Does this work on Android? Yes. It doesn't have to do with the technology. So you can use the drying out your cell phone technique for any electronics. Your kid puts a remote in the fish tank, your key fobs, any electronics, put them in a container with that silica gel packets, close it up, let it sit for at least a day, if not 2, and you should be set, just depending on the severity of the exposure. Before you put batteries back in, before you power it up, you wanna make sure that device is completely dry, because that's when you will damage it. Any electronic, remove the battery as quickly as you can after you get water damage, let it sit with the silica gel packets for at least a day or 2, and then put the batteries back in, and then try it out again. But make sure there's no water. Like if you shake it and there's still a drop of water, that means it's not dry. How to make whipped honey. So this was a fun one because I was seeing whipped honey kind of go off on my Instagram stories. I wanted to share it with everybody. Does the air stay incorporated? So there's a trick there. The air does stay incorporated, but you have to whip it twice is what I found from the research. Whipping the air, and that's why a good stand mixer is helpful when you're making this recipe, because it's all hands off. You can be doing something else while that thing runs. But then you let it sit for like 10 minutes, and then you whip it again, and that should stabilize it. But when I did the whipped honey, I just did one whip to get the air in because I was making a small amount. It lasted probably about a week or so before it separated again, but the awesome thing that we all know about honey, it doesn't expire. So that honey's still good. You know, crystallized honey's still good. If you see anything crusty and gross growing in your jar, that means it's something else, but the honey itself is good. So whip it, you can whip it again, you can use it up like normal, use up that honey. That's why I like to make that recipe in a small batch. You don't need to make a ton of whipped honey, just make a little bit. You'll get a little bit more volume out of it, use it up, and you can always make some more whipped honey later on. Love it, thanks. Do you need to store in the fridge? Nope, don't store it in the fridge. That'll just solidify it. Honey does best at room temperature. Whip it good. What do you need to use for whipped honey? Anything, everything? A good stand mixer. You can do it by hand. By a hand mixer. I probably wouldn't do it with a whisk. You probably cannot whisk enough to do it by hand, but you can use a hand mixer if you wanna stand there. Let the hand mixer do its thing. But if you have a stand mixer, like a KitchenAid stand mixer or any other kind, that's the simplest way. Now, what I didn't test, I don't think a blender would work. I think a blender just doesn't incorporate air like a mixer does with a whisking attachment, so haven't tested that. Your mileage may vary. How does he move so zesty? What does that mean? What are the uses for whipped honey, please? I've seen a lot of people just like put it on toast. It's just a lighter, it changes the flavor. You'd be surprised that the whipped honey process it's more subtle. It's a little bit more like caramely. It's not so like strong honey flavor. You can use it to drizzle on fruit, on toast, on desserts. It's just a good lighter, more accent to honey. I also suggested a variation where you put like a little cayenne pepper in there. So hot honey is a big craze for pizza. So I would do the whipped honey, add a little cayenne, and then drizzle that. It'll be a much more subtle flavor. It'll have the heat, but you'll have that whipped honey and texture as well. And whipped honey is good because it's good to create from crystallized honey. You whip it up, it'll be light and fluffy, and you can use it on your recipe. It's easier to spread, it's easier to use than sticky from the jar honey. Let me know how you would use whipped honey. I'm sure you have some creative options out there. Easy methods for cleaning a shower liner. If my shower curtain already has mold and mildew, can the washing machine wash it with detergent away, or do I have to buy a new one? So if it already has a lot of mold and mildew, if you have an older shower curtain, I definitely would just get a new one. The washing machine method is more for regular maintenance. If you have one of the super plasticky shower liners, put a towel in there with it. The towel will help wash it and scrub it while it's in there. So it'll give you just a little bit more scrubbing action while it's in there. I have a fabric shower liner, so I can just throw that in there, wash it. I'll just pour a little white distilled vinegar in the fabric softener slot and add some vinegar to that too. That'll help clean, get rid of that mold and mildew. You don't wanna put it in the dryer, that's the other tip there. Just hang it back up, it'll air dry. It's you know, if you have a plastic one, it's already plastic, it didn't absorb any liquid anyways. And if you have a fabric one, it'll dry in no time and it's meant for water anyways. So yeah, if your shower curtain's really bad, just throw it out, let's get a new one. But for regular maintenance and care, yep, use your washing machine. I grew up scrubbing that thing like once a month, and it was like my worst chore ever. So took me this many years, took me to be a grown adult to realize I was working harder and not smarter. Were you in Disney recently? I could have sworn I saw, is this the one I read last week? I think I read this one last week. Yes, you did probably see me in Disney. Sadly, you will not see me in Disney anytime soon. I was a pass holder. I let the pass expire. It's really sad. I don't want to talk about it. It's very sad. I'm Disney obsessed, and I will have to put that hobby, that activity on pause for a while. As always, thank you for the comments. Keep them coming. I would love to respond. Thank you, Progressive Heart. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Bo Scout. Thank you, Scott Levy. Who else did I not thank? Thank you, Ronald. Much appreciated. ZB4052. Thank you. Why are some of these so hard to read? Oh, thank you, Jody. Yes, Jody had a comment. Arifin, thank you. I don't know if I said that right. I think that's all of them. Tezonde? Well, cause I thought it was Monday that they spelt wrong with a Z, so I was like, Monday, Zonde, and I was trying to fix it, like I was trying to auto-correct it in my head, and then I realized that that's a name, it's not misspelled words. Oh, I'm not putting the inflection on it. It's Tezonde. Yeah. I need to put the little accent on it. Did not know who Tezonde is.